My dear friends, there is a beautiful truth about life that we often forget. Age is not what makes us weak. Neglect is. You see, after 60, people start saying things like, Ebi kaya hai sikna hai, what's left now? The mind is old now. But let me ask you something, does a river stop flowing just because it has traveled far? Number. In fact, the longer it flows, the deeper it becomes. Your mind is that river. But here is the challenge, if you don't guide the flow, it becomes stagnant. So today, let us talk about how to train your brain after 60, not just to survive, but to stay sharp, alive, and joyful. There is a silent danger that enters life after 60, and its name is comfort. At first, comfort feels like a reward. After decades of hard work, responsibilities, and stress, finally you tell yourself, now I will rest. And yes, rest is important. But when rest turns into inactivity, something inside begins to fade. Let me tell you about Mr. Sharma. He retired at 61 after a successful career. For the first 6 months, life felt like a dream. No alarms, no deadlines, no pressure. He would wake up late, watch television for hours, eat, sleep, and repeat. But slowly, small cracks appeared. He started forgetting where he kept his glasses, then names, then appointments. His confidence began to drop. He started saying, I think I am getting old now. But the truth was not age, it was lack of challenge. One day, his granddaughter brought him a simple crossword puzzle book. He smiled politely, thinking, this is for children. But out of love, he tried. The first day he struggled. The second day he got a few right. Within weeks, he started enjoying it. Then he moved to Sudoku. Then reading books. Then even learning how to send messages on his phone. Something beautiful happened, his mind woke up again. You see, the brain does not retire. It only responds to how you treat it. If you keep it idle, it slows down. If you challenge it, it grows stronger. After 60, your goal should not be comfort, it should be engagement. Do things that make your brain slightly uncomfortable. Solve puzzles, memorize small things like poems or verses, learn a new skill, maybe cooking a new dish. Using technology or even basic English, if you never had the chance, it is not about becoming an expert. It is about keeping the brain active. Think of your mind like a locked room. Every challenge you take is like opening a window. Fresh air comes in. And remember, this growth is not limited by age, only by attitude. If you want to know the real difference between a young mind and an old mind, it is not age, it is curiosity. A child sees a butterfly and asks, why is it colorful? An adult sees the same butterfly and walks past it. What changed? Not the world, the wonder. After 60, many people unknowingly close the door of curiosity. They feel, I have seen enough, I know enough. And that is where mental decline begins, not because of time, but because of certainty. Let me share a story. There was a 72-year-old woman named Savitri Devi. Her whole life, she was busy raising children, managing the home, and fulfilling responsibilities. She never had time for herself. After her children moved away, she felt empty. Days became repetitive. Silence became heavy. One day she saw a group of children painting in a park. She stood there watching them. Something inside her sparked. She thought, can I try this? But immediately another voice came, at this age, what will people say? Still, she gathered courage and joined a local art class. The first few days were difficult. Her hands were shaky. Her lines were imperfect. But her heart was alive again. She started learning colors, textures, techniques. She began asking questions like a child again. Months later, her house was full of her paintings and her life was full of joy. What changed? Not her age, her curiosity. After 60, don't let your mind become rigid. A rigid mind breaks easily. A flexible mind grows. Ask questions. Why does this happen? How does this work? Can I learn this? Watch documentaries. Listen to new ideas. Talk to younger people, not to correct them, but to understand them. Curiosity keeps the brain active because it keeps it seeking. And a seeking mind is a living mind. Remember, the day you stop being curious is the day your mind starts aging, not your body. After 60, one of the biggest battles is not physical, it is mental, because now you have time. And with time come thoughts. Thoughts about the past, mistakes, regrets, losses. what I could have done, what I should have said. And slowly, without realizing, the mind becomes a prisoner of its own memories. Let me tell you about Mr. Iqbal. He was a hardworking man all his life. But after retirement, he kept thinking about one failed business decision he made years ago. Every day, he replayed that moment. If only I had done this, if only I had listened, these thoughts became a habit. And that habit became his identity. He started forgetting things. Not because his brain was weak, but because his mind was occupied. You see, your brain has limited energy. If you fill it with regret, there is no space left for growth. One day, his friend told him something powerful. You are living the same painful moment every day. The event happened once, but you are suffering it 1,000 times. That hit him. Slowly, he started changing his thinking pattern. Whenever a negative thought came, he would pause and say, "This thought is not helping me." Then he would shift his focus reading, writing, or even simple breathing. Over time, his mind became lighter, clearer. After 60, training your brain means training your thoughts. Because thoughts shape your mental strength. Practice this, replace regret with reflection, replace fear with faith, replace I am weak with I am learning. Your brain believes what you repeat. If you keep telling yourself you are forgetful, your brain accepts it. If you tell yourself you are improving, your brain works towards it. Think of your mind like a garden. Negative thoughts are weeds, positive thoughts are seeds. You cannot stop weeds from growing, but you can choose what you water. And whatever you water grows. There is a pain that many people don't talk about after 60. It is not illness. It is not money. It is loneliness. Children grow up. They move away. Friends become busy, or sometimes they are no longer there. And slowly, life becomes quiet. At first, silence feels peaceful. But too much silence becomes heavy. Let me tell you about Mrs. Khan. After her husband passed away, she started living alone. Her children called her, but they lived in different cities. Days went by without meaningful conversation. She would sit near the window, watching people pass by. Weeks turned into months. She stopped dressing up, stopped going out, stopped engaging. And without realizing, her mind started slowing down. Why? Because the brain needs interaction. One day, her neighbor invited her to a small community gathering. She hesitated but agreed. There were people her age. They talked, laughed, shared stories. For the first time in months, she smiled. That one evening changed something inside her. She started attending regularly. She made friends. She shared her own stories. And slowly, her mind became active again. Because conversations are not just words, they are mental exercise. When you talk, your brain processes information. When you listen, it interprets. When you respond, it creates. After 60, do not isolate yourself. Even if it feels difficult, step out. Meet friends, join community groups, spend time with neighbors, talk to family, even if it's just a short call, and most importantly, listen and share. Because a connected life is a stimulated life, and a stimulated brain stays sharp. Freedom after 60 is beautiful, but it can also be dangerous if not handled wisely. For years, your life had structure. Wake up at a certain time, work, eat, rest. But after retirement, that structure disappears. And slowly, days lose shape. You sleep at random times, eat without schedule, do things without purpose. And when life becomes unstructured, the mind becomes lazy. Let me share a simple but powerful story. There were two friends, Ramesh and Suresh. Both retired at the same time. Ramesh decided to live freely, no routine. He would wake up late, watch TV, eat, sleep again. Every day was whatever happens. Suresh, on the other hand, created a simple routine. Wake up early, go for a walk, read for 30 minutes, spend time learning something new, reflect before sleeping, nothing complicated. Just consistency. After a year, the difference was clear. Ramesh felt tired, forgetful, and dull. Suresh felt active, sharp, and peaceful. What made the difference? Not intelligence, not luck, discipline. Your brain thrives on routine. When you follow a structure, your mind stays engaged. When you drift aimlessly, your mind slows down. After 60, create a simple daily routine. Fix your wake up and sleep time. Include some mental activity daily. Move your body, even a short walk helps the brain reflect, or journal at night routine is not restriction, it is protection. It is protects your mind from becoming idle. It protects your energy from being wasted. And most importantly, it gives your day purpose. Because a purposeful life keeps the mind alive. After 60, your greatest responsibility is not just taking care of your body, it is protecting your mind. Because a sharp mind brings confidence, clarity, joy. So don't let age define your limits. Train your brain, engage your thoughts, stay curious, stay connected, stay disciplined. Because growing older is natural, but growing dull is optional.